Hello class, this is Miss Martins. Hope you all are doing well. Today we are going to start Unit 7, which is called Solutions. We have just completed Unit 6, Stoichiometry. If you have yet to take that exam, please make sure that you create an account for Test Wizard and get on there as soon as possible. Tomorrow, 3/27, will be the last day to complete the exam. And remember, once you start the exam, you only have 1 hour in order to complete it. Let's get right on with today's lesson. Today's objective is students will be able to differentiate between solute and solvent and determine soluble and insoluble compounds using Table F. So we have different definitions that we will be learning about today, and you will be able to differentiate between what is a solute and a solvent and what is a soluble and insoluble compounds. I will also be introducing Table F, which is on your reference table. If you do not have that out, you should take it out as soon as possible. So, what do you think when you hear the word solutions? Just take some time to think about the word in your head. Whatever pops out, maybe you could say it out loud to yourself. What is a solution? Homogeneous mixture of two or more substances. Put salt and water, mix, ta-da. So this is a solution. Important vocabulary. Solute is substance that dissolves in the liquid. For example, salt or sugar. Solvent is the liquid in which things dissolve. Example, water. Solute, once again, substance that dissolves. Salt, sugar. Solvent is the substance that does the dissolving. We have water here. We have coffee here. The solute would be the sugar that you put into the solvent, which is the coffee. Let's see if you guys understand the difference between solute and solvent by answering this question. In an aqueous solution, aqueous saltwater solution, NaCl, what is the solute? I want you guys to recall that aqueous means mixed with water. So is the solute A, salt, or B, water? You can pause this video and answer. If you guessed A, you are correct. The solute is salt. Important vocabulary part 2. Soluble. Soluble means solute will dissolve completely in the solvent. Insoluble means the solute will not dissolve in the solvent. So this is an example of like food coloring in water, which is soluble. And this one is insoluble, oil in water. Which term describes a solute that does not dissolve in a solvent? So right now, we're just making sure that we understand these key words, soluble versus insoluble. So is it A, soluble, or B, insoluble? Take time to answer this question. Once again, which term describes a solute that does not dissolve in a solvent? The answer is B, insoluble. If it does not dissolve, it is B. So how can you tell if a substance is soluble or insoluble? This is a good question. Here is where Table F comes into play. So open up your reference table to Table F. And right now, we'll just be going over Table F to make sure to understand what is going on here. Okay, so we have ions that form soluble compounds. All group 1 ions, lithium, sodium, etc. If you have your reference table out, I would take this time to write in all the group 1 ions, or just make sure that you highlight that as group 1 ions that are soluble. We have ammonium, NH4, which is a polyatomic, nitrate, also a polyatomic, acetate, a polyatomic, hydrogen carbonate, a polyatomic, chlorate, a polyatomic. So all of these are soluble with no exceptions. So if you see these elements within a compound, that compound is more likely to be soluble because there's no exceptions. However, we have our halides, which is group 17. I would write in group 17 here, or just write the elements that are in group 17 so you always have it at hand. Group 17 ions are soluble. However, they're insoluble when combined with silver, lead, or mercury. So the exceptions means that when it's combined with these elements, then it's going to be insoluble. Sulfates are also soluble, however, they will be insoluble when combined with silver, calcium, strontium, barium, or lead. Now for the other side of table F, ions that form insoluble compounds. Carbonate is insoluble, however, it will be soluble when combined with group 1 ions, so sodium, lithium, etc., or ammonium. Chromate is insoluble, however, it will be soluble when combined with group 1 ions, so make sure you write those in, calcium, magnesium, or ammonium. Phosphate is insoluble, however, it will be soluble when combined with group 1 ions. Remember, our group 1 ions are always soluble, or ammonium, which is also always soluble. Sulfide is insoluble, however, it's soluble when combined with group 1 ions or ammonium. Once again, hydroxide is insoluble. When combined with group 1 ions, calcium, barium, strontium, or ammonium, it will be soluble. So make sure you understand how to determine if a compound is soluble and what the exceptions are that would either make it insoluble or soluble. Let's go on to answering a few questions to make sure that we understand how to use this table. If you want to pause the video during this time so you can answer them on your own and then review them with me, that will be absolutely fine. So the first question, is NaCl soluble? So Na, we're going to look for it on this list. It is a group 1 ion and there are no exceptions. Na is always going to be soluble. But just to make sure, we're going to look for Cl as well. Halides Cl, Br, and I are all soluble. However, when combined with silver, lead, or mercury, it is insoluble. However, Na is not any of these elements, so I know NaCl is going to be soluble. Next example, is AgBr soluble? So is silver bromide soluble? I'm going to look for silver on my list. So halides, Cl, chlorine, bromine, and iodine are soluble. However, when combined with silver, lead, or mercury, it's insoluble. Therefore, silver bromide is insoluble because bromine is a halide combined with silver, making it insoluble. If you have any questions, you can always access me during the Google Classroom, so just write comments below wherever I post this video. Next example, is calcium carbonate soluble? So I know that I have carbonate here. Carbonate is insoluble. However, when combined with group 1 ions or ammonium, it is going to be soluble. Calcium is in group 2, not group 1. Therefore, calcium carbonate is going to be insoluble. Next question, is ammonium sulfide soluble? So ammonium is always going to be soluble, and we have sulfide over here, which is insoluble. However, it says when combined with group 1 ions or ammonium, it's going to be soluble. So therefore, ammonium sulfide is soluble. Ammonium is always soluble, and combined with sulfide, where it states here, is going to be soluble. So exit ticket. You're going to go to Google Classroom and click on the link to practice questions table F. Practice those questions. Make sure that you understand how to do this. If you have any questions, I will be on live today later on, or you can just access me in the comments, post any questions that you have, and I'll make sure that I answer them right away. When you're done with that and you're confident that you understand table F, what soluble means, what insoluble means, what solute and solvent means, then you should go on to completing the exit ticket, which will be graded and due by the end of day today. Once again, email me if you have any questions or just post in the stream section of Google Classroom.